Good, we're back. Yes, so there was a lot of question in the quiz about martyrdom. So, question here about martyrdom. Let's just... Okay, so, if you are a martyr, are you a saint?
If you are a martyr, are you a saint? I need clarification by what you mean by saint.
Are you in heaven?
So okay. If you were martyred, are you a saint? Probably is going to be my unofficial answer. So martyr actually, the Greek word just means witness, and the word saint means blessed, and we use it two different ways. We use saint to mean, actually we use it like 3 or 4 different ways, but I'm going to limit it to 2 different meanings right now. So saint can mean someone who's heaven. If you've died and you have gone to heaven and you are in the presence of God, you are a saint. That is what it means. We all aspire to be saints. We have a liturgical day on our calendar where we remember all those saints who are unnamed. Like if you are blessed enough to enter into the kingdom, you're a saint. There's another sense we use with like a capital S saint, which means you've been a canonized saint. The church has approved your holiness. They have said that the rest of the church can study your life. So I would suspect if you are a real true martyr, I would fully expect that you are a saint. I can't imagine, and tradition of the church has been, that if you are willing to give up everything for the Lord, because what makes you a saint? Loving God above all things and loving your neighbor. If you are willing to lay down your life out of devotion to your God, greater love has no man than this, than to lay down his life for his friends. If you are willing to lay down your life for your Lord and to give a witness and to strengthen those who are coming after you, I have to think that that's a pretty straight shot. You have achieved something. That is, your martyrdom at that point is an external sign of an internal grace. Mm-hmm. And I would have to think if it's sincere. Now, so the only reason I say probably or maybe not is I don't know, like someone could be, could appear to be a martyr, but for whatever reason they're not. Like they're just doing it because they're arrogant or because they got caught and they didn't know what to do. Like there could be insincere ways in which someone might lay down their life, and that might be a different, maybe some purgation may be needed there. I don't know, but I'm thinking that if you're a sincere martyr, I can't imagine that you are not a saint. Mm-hmm. Now that said, are you a canonized saint? Not always, because we don't know all the martyrs. There's lots of nameless martyrs. Sometimes, we have feast days where we know the name of one martyr, but then we know some companions, and maybe we know some names, and maybe we don't. In the early days of the church, there's tons of martyrs that we just know that they passed away, and we have their tombs, but that's all we know about them. So you may not be a canonized saint, and I think even now the practice is your martyrdom would get you, if a martyrdom was seen to be sincere and fully approved by the church, that would only get you to the blessed stage of the canonization process.
It's like a little leap.
Yeah, but you get to kind of move forward a couple of rungs, but you would still need a miracle, is my understanding of the process. So I'm going to go on a limb and say if you're a sincere martyr who sincerely lays down your life for the love of the Lord, I can't imagine that you're not a little less saint. But if you are, but that does not necessarily always transfer to are you a canonized saint. Again, yeah, and those saints who are not canonized, they're no less saints. We canonize saints for our good, not for theirs. I think that's always something that's important to remember. Like, we sometimes say, like, Mother Teresa became a saint, meaning she was canonized. Good for her. Not good for Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa's in heaven.
Yeah.
We can add nothing to it. Us telling her in heaven, us calling her a saint is saying we know you're in heaven.
Hey,
and
you're
she's
saying
sitting there
that.
like, yeah, I knew that. I knew I was in heaven all along. Saints are canonized for our good, so that we have people to study, so we have people to emulate. They're not canonized for their good. Mother Teresa is no more or less a saint than random first century martyr whose name we don't know. They're both in equal bliss, and so we're like, oh, that other person doesn't get remembered. They don't mind. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of that.
Yeah, like miracles is like the way they show us that they're in heaven.
Right.
So because they're already in heaven, they don't need anything else.
Yeah, and us telling them that they're in heaven doesn't add anything to their...
They're the one telling us, I am in heaven.
Yeah, and I think that their humility would be, it's like, they don't do it for the recognition.
Yeah.
They don't want a parade. That's not, it's,
It's
they
the
would
opposite
say,
thing, yeah.
give the glory to God, so I don't... Yeah, so those saints who are not canonized are no less saints in the truest sense than those who are. Good thing to think